Hello and welcome to Africa 54. I'm Anne Nwawodo, Channels Television here in Lagos. I'm joined by my colleague Vincent McCurry at Voice of America in Washington.
Well, thanks a lot, Anne. I'm Vincent McCurry at our global headquarters in Washington, D.C. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Let's start off with a look at the reading culture in Nigeria. Anne Nwawodo in Lagos brings you that story.
That's right. The reading culture in Nigeria has been rated as low on several occasions, but despite the widespread notion, book lovers of various ages and classes are proving that this does not apply to all Nigerians. Beyond personal fulfillment, the desire is that more people come to understand the benefits of acquiring knowledge. Channels Television's correspondent Uche Aloku has that story.
The rate of literacy is one of the key indicators of the level of development of any nation. And as the saying goes, knowledge is power. And one way of acquiring knowledge is by reading.
There's a widely held view that many Nigerians do not read. Some blame this on inadequate library facilities and the economic realities.
When I check my pockets, I see that I didn't have money. And I have my family to feed. You know, I just think the time I will just sit down to be reading, I will just take that time to hustle for my family.
But Chooks, a roadside bookseller, sees things differently.
I reason different from others because I don't complain. Before something comes to me, I know what to do and I solve the problem because of based on one information that I get from reading books.
Of the various indices of national development, which include gross domestic product, gross national income, birth rate, death rate, as well as poverty level, Nigeria's literacy level is put at about 62%.
Of about 20 years in a week.
To me, it's like I'm feeding. It's like I'm gaining muscles. I'm adding more, to be a benefit to my society.
Government and private-owned libraries are spread across the country. In Lagos, 4 of 12 state public libraries boast conducive reading environments which cater to all reading purposes, and children are not left out.
Coming from our days in school, and what we have now is we've even discovered that there are little children now that even use the library. It's now part of our culture. Most times people don't do hard books, but it doesn't still preclude the fact that they read. Some of them read on their mobile devices, like phones and tablets and what have you.
Library authorities say such facilities make governance easy.
If you don't have competent economists, you cannot have good governance. So we make provision available for the professionals, the economists and other professionals, to have materials to carry out their duties.
Each deity took a part of our soul, a magic they were meant to give to the humans below.
Some readers prefer the more interactive option of book clubs, where like-minded individuals network and exchange ideas.
Everyone who is here is really passionate about African literature, and even people who started coming and they were not passionate, they came out of curiosity. And even just based on now, what we've seen is that the age group is different. The youngest, he's just about to go off to university next year, and the oldest is a grandma.
You know, there's some characters in some of this fiction, and you think that they're fake, but they're actually people who behave in that particular way. So sometimes when you read of a particular character in the book, you see those people in real life and you're like, so there's actually somebody that behaves like this. So what it does is that it helps you, it improves your grammar, it exposes you, you travel, it's like a form of escape. You know, that's what reading does to you.
This schoolboy knows too well the excitement of escaping to another world. He's one of many young readers whose favorite place is a community library in his neighborhood.
The responsibility of educating the mass of our young people, it's a collective responsibility, because the consequence, everybody will bear the consequence. So research has proven that the Northeast is the least educated in this country in terms of number of educational institutions, whether at basic level, whether at secondary or at tertiary.
The Northeast accounts for most of about 10.5 million out-of-school children in Nigeria. Allocation for education remains below the UNESCO-recommended 26% of the national budget. While yearly budgets present governments an opportunity to make a stronger commitment towards education, encouraging the reading culture can be achieved on a daily basis. Uche Aluku, Channels Television News.
Let's get more now on efforts to improve the reading culture in Nigeria, and we're being joined by the Deputy Director at the National Library of Nigeria, Olabimpe Olani. She joins us from Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We know the value of educated citizens cannot be overemphasized, but apart from providing libraries, how much is government actually doing to encourage the habit of reading in the country, especially among the young people?
Yeah, the government has actually realized that from the inception of the Library Foundation and the Leadership Promotion Campaign, being an instituted program for all desired young people in the country has propelled encouraged reading habits. This has been an annual program of National Library of Nigeria, and it is taken throughout the Federation. Every state participates, and at all levels of education, tertiary, primary, and secondary school.
When we talk of libraries in this part of the world, particularly the public libraries, the major challenge is funding and even poor infrastructure. How are these issues being addressed?
It is expected that the infrastructure should be current to meet the best practice at the international level, and it is expected that there should be a policy on budgeting for public libraries so that they can serve the public better. If we have that structured policy on budgeting for public libraries, we will have a very good services provided by them compared to other parts of the world.
Now, would you say that there are enough reading facilities to serve the country's huge population, especially for those who want to read?
No, even in advanced countries, you cannot have adequate facilities. But at least government must ensure that they provide adequate. We have NGOs, we also have private individuals who are also contributing to library development in Nigeria through mobile libraries, through personal libraries, through public initiated libraries in communities and other places. These are some of the areas where philanthropists give support to library development, even in other nations. And that shows that the government cannot do it alone. But with the support of the public, yes, we can also provide as much as the government is also helping.
Olabimpe Olani, Deputy Director of the National Library of Nigeria, thank you so much for joining us today on Africa 54.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we covered. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa54. And check out all headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, see how this Senegalese fashion designer guarantees success in the creative industry by capitalizing on small gaps.